guys, welcome to today's Big Brother 17 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Ryan Wills, and Ryan Wills has some TV recommendations for everybody. So obviously, we all love Big Brother. That's why we're here. But he also says, it's over now, but this email was from a while ago. The show Alone, if you guys haven't seen it yet, you should definitely check it out. It's like Survivor, except they don't vote people off. They're just like out in the wild, and they have to see how long they can survive. Last person standing wins. My dad is a huge fan of that show, and I think you guys should definitely check that out. And also, Ryan says, The Amazing Race, Canada. I haven't seen this version of it yet, but I've heard really good things about it. So hopefully, when I have more time, we'll get to marathon that. Alright, so, yesterday, Vanessa let Julia know, so you're gonna be the pawn. I've pretty much decided. So she's explaining why it has to be her. Obviously, Austin and Liz can't go up. They're huge targets. Vanessa wouldn't want Steve to feel like he's at the bottom of the group. And Vanessa's worried if she puts up Johnny Mac, they're gonna vote him out. They're gonna vote his ass right back out. So it's gotta be Julia. So Julia's like, yeah, I get it. And she's a little nervous, but Vanessa reassures her they have the votes. Obviously, Austin and Liz would vote to keep her, and Steve has already sworn that he will. So, yeah. And Vanessa adds a little extra incentive. She's like, if you're evicted this week, I'll give you $10,000 out of my own pocket. What? Okay, so then, like, right after that, maybe a few minutes later, Vanessa, please go to the diary room. Big Brother yelled at her. She came back up to the room after, and she was like, yeah, Big Brother just spanked me. And she was like, oh, I was just kidding about offering you that money. Haha, what a funny joke. I know it's against the rules, duh. So she had to, like, clean that up a little bit, because she has thrown that around a few times now. So then Meg went up to the HOH room to talk to Vanessa, and Meg is just trying to get like a favorable replacement nominee up on the block next to her because she wants to have a fighting chance to stay in the house this week. So Vanessa is not really interested in that discussion. She's just like, she's bringing up how James was mean to her, and she's referring to yesterday when James told her, like, you're playing too hard. You need to, like, rein it in, sister. So Vanessa didn't like that. She was very offended by it. So Meg is trying to, like, steer this back in the right direction. She's like, you know, I'd be a good person to have around in the end, because if I make it to the final two, like, I don't have anything to show for myself. The only thing I'm going to be able to say is that I invented freaking potball. She doesn't have any game moves to talk about. So Vanessa's like, well, I had it really rough in the game. And she's getting all emotional again. She's saying, like, I'm not single like a lot of you guys, and I'm gay, so, like, I had a lot of stuff going on. I had to play the game differently. I couldn't be all, like, Miss Popularity like you, Meg, or, like, what? All I heard was, wah, 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 wah. I don't get how, I mean, I understand that she's saying that she's in a relationship, so she couldn't have a showmance. She's talking like everybody's shacked up together. I don't get that. And what does her being gay have to do with anything? No! So then the conversation finally ends. I mean, it went on for a while. They go their separate ways. So Vanessa is whining to the Oz twins how James and Meg were laughing at her during her nomination speech, and they're like, oh no, Vanessa, like, your speeches are wonderful. Their speeches are crap. You're great. You're the best. And then, you know, just more talking about how James, like, made her feel like crap, and she doesn't like that. I thought they were already over this. Like, what is going on? So then Meg, on the other side, is relating her conversation with Vanessa to James, and she's like, well, it's not looking good for me. Vanessa really wants to split us up. She's saying that it's not personal. She just wants to split up the duo, blah, blah, blah. She also brings up how Vanessa told her that she's, like, the cool girl in the house, and Vanessa feels like she can't compete with Meg's social game, and Meg's just like, since when am I the freaking cool girl? I'm the grandma of the house. So James is like, well, if I win HOH, I'm putting up Vanessa and Austin. Oh, snap. Imagine how crazy that would be. Yeah. Alright, so it was photo booth time yesterday, and the theme, Big Brother wanted to see their best side-eye. So I guess that's like that kind of thing. I'm sure the twins were great at it, but it seems like everyone's pretty much over the photo booth by now. That's sad. Okay, so then the Austin, I'm so used to saying the Aust twins. Austin and the goblins were chatting in the backyard, and it was kind of interesting because Austin is starting to bring up now how he needs to look out for himself, and he can't expect to, you know, win if he's in the final three with the twins. Like, they're gonna take each other to the finals, so he's got to start thinking about himself a little bit more. And in the coming weeks, he's gonna be making deals just for himself, you know, not necessarily for all three of them. So that's kind of interesting. Austin also said that he doesn't want Meg to go this week. That's like the last thing he wants, supposedly. So he does say, though, if Julia goes up on the block, he can't vote her out. He can't go against Liz like that. It would not end well. So Austin is trying to give Meg some advice. He's like, why don't you go talk to Vanessa again? Maybe offer her a deal. Like, you know, she loves deals. So Meg is like, what am I going to say? That I'm going to throw the HOH? I'm not going to win the HOH anyway. So shifting gears a little bit, Austin and James are talking about, you know, what's going to happen in the next few weeks. And they're like, you know, it would really suck if the two sides keep going after each other, and then Steve and Johnny Mac just like slide right on through to the end. Like, they do not want to see that happen. So then Austin warns Vanessa that he just talked to the goblins, and they're gonna try to come up with a deal. They're probably gonna promise her the world, so just be ready for it. So then James and Meg go to the have-not room. They start crafting up this deal. So, of course, Meg is going to offer to throw the HOH competition. Again, like, she's probably not going to win it anyway, but you never know. But then there's another extra layer here. She's like, if James wins the HOH, James will nominate Meg in place of Vanessa, and then they can choose to do whatever they want. Like, they can vote her out. So that's kind of weird. It's like a really strange deal. I don't think I've heard that one before. Basically, she's just trying to stay in the house an extra week. I don't know. Who knows if she would actually stick to that or not. But she's, you know, she's all about it right now. So Meg goes up to the HOH room to present this deal to Vanessa. And she, you know, she says all of what we just talked about. And she also adds, Vanessa, if you do find yourself on the block next week, you would have 2 automatic votes in me and James. So Vanessa's like, wow, like everything you're saying sounds like almost too good to be true. I really like it. I think this is like the best possible deal you could have come up with for me. But Vanessa is worried that James is not going to follow through on nominating Meg. It just seems insane. Also, James has gone back on a deal with Shelly before, so that makes Vanessa a little nervous. Also, Vanessa went back on her deal with James this week, so she's like, why would he do anything for me? So Meg is like, well, he would do it for me. And if he didn't follow through, I would have to target him. Again, this just sounds like really crazy. But Vanessa's like, yes, this is a very compelling deal. I want to sleep on it, send James up to talk to me tomorrow morning, and we'll see what happens. So Meg goes downstairs, she tells James about the conversation, and James is like, oh crap, like he's worried that Vanessa's gonna want him to like swear on his daughter or something. Like, he doesn't want to do that, because it's just like creepy and weird. But anyway, this morning, James went up to the HOH to talk to Vanessa. He verifies, like, I'm down with the plan. He says, I'm doing this for a friend. You know, Meg means a lot to me. And Vanessa's like, I believe you, but I just feel like it's not a good move for me. She also brings up that if Meg stays this week, like, James and Meg are always going to have to go up on the block against each other. And it's not a guarantee that James is going to win the POV every week. And he would definitely go home over Meg. So Vanessa's like, are you sure you would even want that? Like, it's just not good for you. But in the end, Vanessa says she has to split up the couple. She's got to finish the job. She kept using the phrase, finish the job, which was just like, kind of weird. I don't know. It just sounds like she's going to kill her or something. So Vanessa's like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So Meg goes up to the HOH room. Vanessa's like, I thought about it for like 2 hours last night, but I just can't do it. So she lets her know you're not going to like the replacement nominee. I'm sorry. Again, she says, I just have to finish the job. So Meg is like, okay. But she tells her, like, I think you're making a mistake. I don't think this is the way that I'm supposed to go home. No one ever thinks that's the way that they're supposed to go home. But anyway, they had the power veto ceremony today. Of course, James used it on himself. And Vanessa put up Julia as the replacement nominee as planned. So it's Meg versus Julia. It's going to be interesting to see if Meg can come up with another compelling argument for her campaign against Julia. I think it's very unlikely at this point that Steve and Johnny Mac would flip, but you never know. There's still a few days until that eviction, so it should be interesting. And until tomorrow, much love.
Edit.